Hey, welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 22. Game week 21 was an exciting week, and I had spot on predictions in game week 21. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the first and the lucky people to get notified. Let's get into the game week 22 predictions. I know this video is too early, but I mean, let's manage it. This is my predictions. Let's get into it one time. Oh yes, to begin the Premier League game week 22 predictions, the first game is between Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. Arsenal in game week 21, they had a 5-0 victory over Crystal Palace, which was an impressive improvement over their past games. But going to this game, I predicted a win for Arsenal because they have struggled in their past Premier League fixtures, but this game was a walkover for Arsenal. And going to this game with 22, Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal, I'm predicting another straight win for Arsenal. I'm predicting Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Oh yes, and moving on to the next game in game week 22 is between Fulham versus Everton. In game week 21, Fulham lost 1-0 to Chelsea, and going to this game, I know they are going with all the mentality of claiming all the 3 points, but I'm sure Everton going to this game too, they are thinking of claiming a point or at least winning it all, since there is another point deduction on it way coming. Going to this game, I'm expecting Everton to do wonders, but I will not be shocked if this game ends in a draw. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Fulham 2, Everton 2. Oh yes, moving on to the next game is between Luton Town versus Brighton. Luton Town, so far so good. I'm impressed with what they are doing in the Premier League. They are the only team that I'm still tipping that they can still make it out of the relegation zone. Aside Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United, I don't think they can still sustain their Premier League status. So going to this game, Luton Town versus Brighton, I'm tipping Brighton to get the win, but I will not be shocked if this game also ends in a draw. But I'm predicting a 2-1 victory for Brighton. Brighton 2, Luton Town 1. Oh yes, and moving on to the next game is between Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. In game week 21, Crystal Palace lost 5-0 against Arsenal, which going into that game, I predicted a win for Arsenal, but I didn't expect Crystal Palace to lose with that huge margin, 5 goals. It was mental. Going to this game with 22, Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United, I'm tipping Crystal Palace to get a straight win over Sheffield United, a team who is struggling at the bottom of the table. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace 2, Sheffield United 1. Oh yes, moving on to the next game is between Aston Villa versus Newcastle United. Newcastle United, so far so good. They are struggling low-key in the Premier League, and this season it will be very difficult for Newcastle to get top 4. But going to this game, we all know Aston Villa this season has been impressive, the way they play, and even in their home at the Villa Park, they don't drop points. They are winning all games at the Villa Park. So going to this game at Villa Park, I'm predicting a straight win for Aston Villa. I'm predicting Aston Villa 2, Newcastle United 0. Oh yes, and moving on to the next game is between Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford. In game week 21, I predicted a 2-2 draw between Manchester United versus Tottenham, and I got a spot on predicted. Going to this game week 22, Tottenham versus Brentford. This game too, I stand a chance of getting a spot on. I'm predicting a high scoring game, but it's boring. I'm predicting Ivan Toney is back in the Premier League. So note, I'm predicting Brentford 3, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Oh yes, and moving on to the next game is between Manchester City versus Burnley. I know in game week 21, City got a win over Newcastle United, and going into this game against Burnley, we all know City want to go back to be on top of the Premier League table. So yes guys, and I'm back on your screens. I'm sorry for the change of environment. The lights went out and I can't do anything about it, but just to come outside here and record for you guys. Listen, City want to do all what they can to get back on top of the Premier League table, and going to this game against Burnley is a tough game for Burnley. I know Burnley too is struggling at the bottom of the table, and going to this game is going to be a walkover for Manchester City. I'm predicting Manchester City 4, Burnley 1. Oh yes, moving on to the next game. The next game is between Liverpool versus Chelsea. This is the game of the week. We all know Liverpool is on great form. In their last game, in game 21, they won by 5 goals to 0, and it was impressive. Going to this game against Chelsea side, which was also struggling but now trying to pick up momentum, picking up good points. Going to this game will be a tough game. We all know Chelsea versus Liverpool, or Liverpool versus Chelsea of late is a boring game because it has always been ended in a draw. But going to this game, I'm tipping one over the other. I know Liverpool is in a title race, and you know what it is. Chelsea, they struggle. But going to this game too, I'm tipping, I don't know. This one, I'll leave this match for you guys to decide who or what is your prediction on this game, Liverpool versus Chelsea, because this game I can't predict. Let's move on to the next game. Yes, and moving on to the next game is between West Ham United versus AFC Bournemouth. We all know West Ham was on great form and Kudus and Berama left for the AFCON. Since then, they have been struggling to score goals. In their last game, they drew 2-2, which was unexpected. And going to this game against Bournemouth team, who has also been impressive, despite in their last game they lost to Liverpool by 5 goals to 0, which was unpredictable and unexpected. Going to this game, West Ham versus Bournemouth. My prediction, I'm predicting West Ham to get a slight win over Bournemouth. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for West Ham. West Ham to Bournemouth 1. Oh yes, and moving on to the next game is between Wolves versus Manchester United. This is the last game in game week 22. Going to this game, Manchester United are coming from a 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur, and in that game, going to that game, I predicted a 2-2 draw and I got it spot on. So going to this game, Wolves versus Manchester United, I'm tipping a slight win for Manchester United. I'm predicting United 3, Wolves 2. So yes, this has been my prediction for Premier League game week 22. I know, guys, forgive me. I came out here to record for you because we don't have light and I have to do this video by hook or crook. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, let me know your predictions at the comment section. Till we meet in another video, I'm still your boy Andy Finer. Bye bye for now.